Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Here you will find the easy notes to the biology chapters. So let's start. The first unit is diversity in the living world and the first chapter is the living world. I'll explain you the chapter line by line so that you will get the easy understanding of the chapter. How wonderful is the living world? The wide range of living types is amazing. The extraordinary habitats in which we find living organisms, be it cold mountain, forest, ocean, lakes, deserts, hot springs, or any other place. So we find the living organisms at different places, whether it is the mountains, whether they are the forest or the oceans or the lakes. Everywhere we find the living world. The ecological conflict and cooperation among members of a population and among populations of a community or even the molecular traffic inside a cell make us deeply reflect on what indeed is life. And when we go in the deep study of cell, we find that there is so much. A molecular traffic means the variety of molecules inside a cell, which makes us uh, more keen to learn about the cell and the life. The first is the technical one and seeks answer to what living is as opposed to a non-living, and the second is a philosophical one and seeks answer to what the purpose of life is. So basically there are 2 points. One is the non-living things as compared to the living things, which we have studied from the previous classes, that non-living things do not show any reproduction or any respiration or digestion, and the living organisms show all these processes. So the first topic 1.1 is diversity in the living world. Diversity means variety. We all can see the different kind of organisms and animals, creatures living around us. That is called diversity, whether it is a plant or an animal or a microbe or an insect. So there is a vast variety of living organisms around us, and the basically what we call them, we give them the term biodiversity. Bio means living and diversity means variety. So means what will be the definition of this word? The vast variety of living organisms around us is called biodiversity. I'll discuss all the definitions with you at the end of the chapter once we'll be finished with the discussion. Millions of plants and animals around us can be seen. They vary from place to place depending on the climatic conditions and habitat or topographical factors. Topographical factors means the geographical location or the conditions on that place. So there are so many living organisms. How we will identify them? Like I'll give you a simple example. Like when we teach in the class, we ask students that this is the group A of medical students, this is the group B of non-medical students, and this is the group C of both medical and non-medical who have not opted the physical education. For example, we have made the three groups. So on what basis we have classified them? On the basis of the medical and non-medical groups. So this is called classification. We classify them for our ease so that it can be easy for us in the future. Secondly, we also give them the name so that they can be identified easily. Like for example, when I ask in the class that Shreya, you have to give the answer to this question. So only Shreya will stand up, nobody else will stand up to give the answer. This is called nomenclature. When we name the organisms, this is called nomenclature. And nomenclature and classification helps in easy identification of that organism. Now you can correlate the three terminologies. Based on nomenclature and classification, identification becomes easy. So let's read it from here. There is a need to standardize the naming of living organisms such that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. This process is called nomenclature. When we call the mango as Mangifera indica, it is the same as all over the world. This is the scientific name given to mango. So nomenclature makes the things easy to understand and to identify them. Obviously, nomenclature or naming is only possible when the organism is described correctly, and we know to what organism the name is attached to. This is identification. So naming helps in easy identification. Now based on this, there are two terminologies which is often asked in the paper also. What is ICBN and what is ICZN? ICBN means International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, and ICZN means International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. Botanical means to name the plants, and zoological means to name the animal. The scientific names ensure that each organism has only one name. So it is very important that the particular scientific name should be given to only one particular organism. Like mango has been given the name Mangifera indica. No other species or animal or organism has the name Mangifera indica. Only mango has the scientific name. So it has been assigned to the single organism. So this ensured that the name is used for any particular organism, not the different ones. Biologists follow universally accepted principles to provide scientific names to these organisms. Each name has two components, generic name and specific epithet. Now, Mangifera indica. Mangifera is the genus name, main name, and species is indica. Like I say Shreya Pathak. Shreya is the genus name and Pathak is her surname, species name, specific name. So these two components, when these two words are used in nomenclature, this is called binomial nomenclature method. So it is also asked in the paper, what is binomial nomenclature? Write a short note on it. And who gave this? Carolus Linnaeus. He was a scientist who gave this nomenclature. Similar example is given here. The scientific name of mango is written as Mangifera indica. Let us see how it is a binomial name. In this name, Mangifera represents the genus Indica, is a particular species. Mangifera represents the genus, while Indica represents a particular species or specific epithet. Now, last topic for this YouTube is the universal rules to write the nomenclature. What are the rules to be followed while naming an organism? Number 1, the first name is written in Latin or italics. Means first word is capital or it can be Latin or italics. First word represents genus and second one represents species. We can't write it as Indica Mangifera. We have to write it as Mangifera indica. And both the words in biological name when handwritten are separately underlined. This is very important. They have to be separately underlined or printed in italics. So while writing in paper, we can't print it in italics. So we write these words separately and underline them. First letter is capital and species letter can be small, and both have to be separately underlined. Like you can see in the above line, Mangifera indica. M is capital, rest all are small, and indica I is small, and they are written in italics. And when we are not writing them in italics, we can separately underline them, not a common line for both of them. And the fourth and the last rule is the first word starts with capital letter, genus, and the species start with small letter, like I have already told you. So in the next video, we will start from the detail of the classification, taxonomy and systematics. Till then, I'm saying goodbye to you, and keep watching my videos, share them with your friends for easy understanding of biology, and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye bye.